right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Michelle Briggs. I'm with Strata, Texas. You're watching the Briggs & Mortar Heights Facebook Live, and we have with us today Jason McLaurin. He is an attorney and the founder of McLaurin Law Firm, and I love that he's taken time out of his busy schedule. He's not charging us, right? For having this conversation, because it's so important to be a resource to you as my clients and future clients and whoever's watching. And Jason is an amazing resource for us in certain times of needs for, our family or for, ourselves, unfortunately, if necessary. So thank you, Jason, so much for being here today.
Thank you, Michelle, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Excellent. So, okay, before we really get into things, tell us a little bit about you, your practice, and all that great stuff. A little bit about you.
Okay, well, I've had my current practice for about 3.5 years now. I've been practicing law for 13 years. Primarily, we specialize in personal injury on the plaintiff side and policyholder work against insurance companies. So what that means is that we sue negligent parties and insurance companies for people who've been injured, and we sue insurance companies for people who have been denied or had their claims delayed by insurance companies. Prior to me doing this, I was actually on the other side of the docket, and I worked for insurance companies. And after about 4 years, I was going to go crazy and wanted to quit being a lawyer and all that. And then I realized that I could just switch sides and start suing them, and I never really looked back after that. So that's a law firm in a nutshell. Any other?
Well, I mean, I think it's great that you have that background, right? So you and I, we just recently met, and we're within a networking group together and learning a little bit more and more about you. I really wanted you to be a part of this Tips Tuesday, because one of the things that I liked was that you were on the other side of the docket, right? That you do understand it's kind of like, their tricks or what their tells or whatever. So that's what I like that.
Oh, I know that the level of their incompetence is far greater than anyone could possibly imagine. That's what I've learned.
I'm telling you. See, I love it. Okay, so tell us about the type of cases, about your practice. So who should be calling you if they have whatever that situation is?
Yeah, sure. Well, generally, I deal with insurance companies for people. So what should trigger you, at least on the injury side, is if you get into an injury and you suspect that there's someone else who caused your injury. Oftentimes in situations like that, the person who caused your injury is going to have insurance. And it's really, really important to get an attorney quickly in a situation like that, because oftentimes, let's say that you're in a car accident, or you're at a construction site and someone does something stupid and something falls on your head and puts you in the hospital. The first thing that they're going to do is have an insurance company call you and basically try to get you to say everything that you shouldn't be saying, so that later on they can use it as an excuse to undervalue your claim and not pay you the money that you need in order to get better and in order to make sure that you're taken care of in a situation like that. As far as the insurance side, that's pretty easy too. If an insurance company is taking too long to pay you the money that they owe you after you've been paying them premiums for years, or if they flat out deny your claim, that's another trigger point that you guys should be talking to an attorney like me, so that we can help you get through that.
Right. And I think, look, I love it. I don't care. There's so many attorney jokes out there. I get it. There is, right?
I know a lot of them.
Like, a lot of them, right? Most attorneys do. And, the people that really know me, the ones that are getting to know me, they know my background is I worked with attorneys for, 15 years prior to becoming a realtor. So, I get it. You're a human being just like anyone else, right? So when you're...
I know a lot of people don't think that, but yeah, we are. I
You
try to
are.
be,
You
I
are.
work at it. It's hard. Law school, they suck a little bit of your soul out, but, you try to maintain as much as you can. Right?
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is that, when you're looking at a situation that where you're injured or exactly you have a claim that the insurance should be paying out and they're not, I think there's people that just string it out. So it's good to have an attorney, someone like you, that can say, okay, where are we at and what do we need to do to get you where you should already be, or need to be, right?
Right. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. Like, I can't tell you how many times someone will call my office, and it will be after somebody's been dealing with an insurance company for 6 months or even a year or even longer. And, they'll come to me and they'll be like, Jason, kind of thinking about suing my insurance company because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'll take a look at their claim, and it'll already be too late. Like, the insurance company literally will have already set up all the chess pieces in a way to where they're not going to pay any money. They're going to be able to defend that position in court. They're going to have a recorded statement from the person basically admitting that it's not their fault or having them apologize or something like that. And, I have to tell them, I wish you'd called me 6 months before or a year before, because I really could have helped you. It's so crucial at that early phase to talk to an attorney so that they can guide you on the right path to making sure you maximize your claim. And I know we were talking about this before we started this interview, Michelle. One of the things that people don't realize is that attorneys that do what I do, at least the good ones for the most part, they'll give you a consultation for free to evaluate your case. So the good ones will talk to you for 15, 30 minutes and listen to your problem and see whether you can help them. So there's really no downside to calling somebody and just, you don't have to hire them. I mean, but at least, call someone and get an opinion about whether, this is the right position for an attorney or not. I mean, if it's not a good situation for an attorney, or if I don't think that I can help you maximize your claim, or that I have a way that will be beneficial to you, or that my presence will be beneficial to you, if I don't think that, then I'm going to tell you, I don't think you should hire me. I think you should do this or do that. So there's really just no reason. And, a lot of people, I'm not exactly sure why people wait. Maybe they don't know that, but it's, it's just important people understand it.
Yeah, there are things that, some people are just, part of what I want today to be is to let people know that you are a human being, and they don't have to be
focused on that.
I know, like, I'm so passionate about that because I worked with attorneys for 15 years. I've met the wives, I've met the children, I've met family. We've all gone to dinners, and so it's just important not to be intimidated by or scared of an attorney. If you have a situation, call one. It may not be the area of practice that Jason has, but it's consult, find out, because there's so many in the real estate business. I mean, like I said, working with real estate attorneys, I have so many stories that I could share, just for the mere fact I just really wish that person would have reached out to a real estate attorney to get that document right, to where now 5 years later it would have, it's not impacting the sale of their home, where the person that signed the document is no longer with us. It's just, it's really understanding that you really are there to assist someone in a time that they have no idea what the heck is going on.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of money. I mean, and it's not just with personal injury and insurance. It's pretty much in general. There's a lot of money saved on the front end. A lot of people don't talk to an attorney when they actually need to, and by the time most people realize they need an attorney, it's going to cost them 10 times as much money as it would have they just consulted someone early on. I have business clients that I tell that to all the time, that if you don't listen to me today, that's fine, but we're going to be talking about 10 times as much later when this all goes to heck. So I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean, and I know the attorneys are expensive, and actually they're not expensive when they're giving you free consultations, but the earlier that, you get that feeling in your stomach where like, maybe I should talk to someone, the earlier you act on that, the better off I think you're going to be in general.
The more cost effective it'll be.
It'll be more cost effective, and you'll fix the problem, and you won't you'll be able to move on with things faster and put your life in order a lot faster. And a lot of lawyers, I get the lawyer jokes, but there are a lot of us that the reason that we entered this profession was to help people, to be kind of a shield against that world for people, because law is scary, because people don't. Law can be scary to me, okay, because I have to go in front of a judge, and the judge can make the choice between my client gets everything they want or the jury, my client gets everything they want, or my client gets nothing. And it can be a scary world to operate in, and it's really, really important when you get in that world to have a specialist early. And that's what our sense of giving comes from, is we want to just help people through that and use our expertise and really try to make people's lives better.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So Jason, can you share with us, no details, of course, no details, but can you share with us an example of a case that it could be, I say beginning to end, not all the details, but kind of a 2-minute share about a case that you were involved in?
Well, there's a few of them. One of the more interesting ones, it's actually an insurance case. And this is back when I was on the defense side of things, but there was this guy who owned a big giant yacht in Florida, and he made a ton of money doing, I won't tell you what he was doing, but I believe it was legal, and he made millions and millions of dollars from it and bought himself a very, very nice big giant yacht, and he wanted to sail off into the future in his big giant yacht. And as part of his retirement fantasy, he wanted to become a treasure hunter as well. So he spends like millions of dollars outfitting his new yacht from Italy with treasure hunting equipment. And he wasn't really an experienced sailor, but he hired a whole entire sailing team, staffed up his yacht with the sailing team, and decides to go treasure hunting. And while he's going amongst the early ports, he learns from the other sailors that that you can find gold and Spanish bullion if you wait till right after a hurricane comes through, because the hurricane will come through and stir up the ground, and it'll basically bring the ships to the surface. Well, he heard there was a hurricane coming through off the coast of Florida, and he anchored his ship close to the path of the hurricane, and then the path of the hurricane changed right over him into a nightmare where he was thrown around for 8 hours, and just basically his boat got pulled into a natural preserve, so no one would let him take it out after the hurricane. So that was a really fun case. We ended up working it all out in the end, but the question was that level of craziness covered by the policy, and we had a good fight about it. So it was a fun case though.
So okay. So did he get any money to replace his boat?
He got money. Eventually, got money to replace his boat. Yes. So
okay. I was about to say. But I'm sure because you said you were on the other side.
I was. And the thing, the guy was a little bit crazy. He stayed on his boat while it was in the natural preserve, because he stated this, that he thought pirates were going to come and rob his boat, and he was holding a shotgun on the bow of his boat to protect it. So just having a character, that's what's so crazy about law and litigation and getting to the higher phases. Most reasonable people, and I'm not saying which side was reasonable or not in this case, right? I'm always going to say it's the other side, but it's how things work. Once you get to litigation, it's because something has gone horribly wrong in most cases, where people can't figure it out in an amicable way and come to some sort of deal, right?
Right.
In most cases, you can come to a deal on, but you get some crazy characters in those situations, so it makes it fun. That's for sure.
I can only imagine. We're gonna have to go on a double date. We're gonna have to get our spouses and swap stories.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you want my wife to talk about my legal career. She'll I don't know if that'd be a good story for her, but
yeah, that's true. She's probably, yeah, I'm sure she's like, okay, Nick's Dixon. All
uh,
right. Well, if you are just joining us, my name is Michelle Briggs. I'm with Strata, Texas. This is Jason McLaurin. He's an attorney and founder of the McLaurin law firm, and he was just sharing with us his different type of cases, the personal injury, suing insurance companies, things like that. He just shared a case about a yacht in Florida. I think that was hilarious. Jason was representing the insurance company. So at that point, the next point of conversation, you'll have to share a case, like I said, no details, but share a case when you were suing the insurance company. So do you have one of those?
Oh yeah. I've got plenty of those, and they usually they usually involve the same type of story. One I had recently was kind of in the wake of I'll tell you one about the Harvey, because there were tons of Harvey-based claims.
Oh.
Not so much in the flooding, because a lot of flooding wasn't covered, or a lot of people didn't have flood coverage, so there was a huge issue there. But some of the debate became, okay, well, if no one has flood coverage, how, what are the other ways that flooding can happen? And in this particular case, a gentleman I knew had his house basically wiped out by a tornado, and the insurance company basically started out by denying that the tornado existed. After they denied that the tornado existed, then they went on even further to then they denied that there was any damage. Then after they denied that there was any damage, and we got experts coming in saying there was hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage, of course, the tornado hit the house. They denied that the experts had correctly evaluated the damage, so they sent in their own experts and said that the damage is 1/5 of what it really was. And then it just kept going and going and going and going. And that's what's so frustrating about the process for most people. After that, sometimes what we have to do, and what we did in this case, is you just have to basically file a lawsuit against the insurance company and make them realize that you mean business and that you're going to take it all the way. One thing a lot of people don't realize about insurance claims, and which was the case, became a real factor in this case, is you can recover your attorney's fees if you win an insurance claim against an insurance company, which means, and frankly, in most cases, I take those cases on contingency, and in some cases, my clients don't want to because the claims are so big, they don't want me to. But you, as an element of damages against an insurance company, if they screw up and you push them to the end, they can have to pay not only their own attorney's fees, but your attorney's fees as well. So we were able to even go forward and win the case, and got all the attorney's fees that my client had to pay on top of all the damage they should have paid in the first place. So it ended up being a really good victory for them.
If they would have just acknowledged it.
This is the thing I think a lot of people, and I know this is on an interview and this is going to go out, so I got to be careful what I say here too, is that there is a vested economic interest in an insurance company holding on to your money for as long as they can. It's called the float. I know this from before, but basically what happens is the longer that you can delay paying a claim, or if you deny paying a claim and you can hope that they won't come after you, they can hold on to your money and basically reinvest it and make money off of it and generate wealth from that money. And these insurance companies, they're multi-billion, trillion-dollar industry. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry, but it's some of these companies are just huge companies, and if they can take a stance of, I'm not going to pay 100 claims today and I'm going to hold on to them for a year, I don't care if we get sued, we'll just pay it out as soon as we get sued. They've made millions just from holding on to your money for that longer period of time. So it's interesting, and it's also why you once they start giving you trouble, if they're not going quick, you want to start putting pressure on them immediately so that they can't do that to you.
Right.
Yeah.
what just popped up in my head was Warren Buffett. I'm like, no wonder. Like, no wonder a man owns an insurance company.
He owns a few of them. That's for sure. Yeah. And he's not a bad investor either. So
that's what I'm saying. He's no dum-dum. So there's something
Yep.
behind it, right? There's
Yep.
something behind what you're sharing in that regard.
Oh.
All right. So we are getting close to the end of our time with the Tips Tuesday today. So Jason, what is our tip for today?
Don't talk to insurance companies without at least calling for a free consultation with an attorney. Don't talk to them. If they call you, you don't have to talk to them, especially if it's the carrier on the other side. For example, if you get into a car accident and the other person's insurance company calls you, you have no obligation to talk to them. Now, just talk to an attorney first and get some advice before you do that, because I guarantee you, they're going to pick up the phone, they're going to put you on a recorded line, they're going to ask you 25 pre-prepared questions, all designed to make you say something stupid, and it's going to screw up your case. So that's my tip. Please don't do that. Call me or another attorney like me.
Right. Well, I mean, at least look. I was just flabbergasted. I had a personal friend of mine that was in an accident, and the insurance company was calling her cell phone when she was still in the hospital bed recovering, and wanted to record a statement.
I've had to have the validity of statements contested based on the fact that my clients were under the influence of pain. I mean, they've just been in an accident, right? I mean, it's not just under the influence of drugs, which sometimes they are, but I mean, they're suffering from head injuries sometimes. Anyone who's been in an accident knows that you're not thinking straight for a good time period after that because you're in shock. So, they'll get you on the phone. I got into an accident maybe a year ago, and I know what to do. I mean, I would say I have an intense, intimate knowledge of what to do. And before I knew it, the other driver had a cell phone in her hand, and she was handing it to me in my window before I'd even, with the insurance adjuster from her carrier on the phone. Like, I'm not talking to that person. And that's obviously what you should say too, but I was just surprised at how fast I had a phone in my face with an adjuster on it. So, just be careful. Don't talk to them. Sometimes you can just say, look, I want to talk to an attorney first. If you say you're going to talk to an attorney, they're going to tell you, don't talk to an attorney. They're going to take your money. They're going to cost too much. All these things that in reality just aren't true. The reality is what they're going to do is they're going to try to reduce the value of your claim, by a factor of 10 times, and keeping you from getting an attorney. And just don't let them do it. Please.
Okay. Our tip for today: do not talk to an insurance company immediately following an accident. Get a hold of Jason. If it's not Jason, an attorney that can assist you in guiding you through the process to get you back to, back to work, back to walking, back to, whatever that is.
Back to having a house, back to life.
Yeah. So thank you again, everyone. My name is Michelle Briggs with Strata, Texas. I always ask you to follow me on Instagram, like my Facebook page, all of my social media. All you have to do is search RELTR, the number 4 and the letter U, because I am the realtor for you. And don't forget, Tasty Thursdays. Every Thursday at 6:30, we taste wine, and we'll have Tips Tuesday, first, second, and third Tuesday of the month. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe below. Thank you. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it.